everyone. So today we've come to the end of the Bridgwater and Taunton Canal. We're at Bridgwater Docks and we're just having a bit of a look around. It's quite chilly this morning. The canal was once a very busy port leading out onto the River Parrett behind me, but it's all been bricked and boarded up, so you can't actually get down onto the River Parrett anymore. So the canal is completely separate from any of the network in the UK. So the only way to get here is to hire a boat or have it delivered on a low loader. Nevertheless, there's a few boats here in the dock behind me, which I can show you. Presumably they're all liveaboards.
Bridgwater, or Brugie, as it was known in the 11th century Domesday book, seems to have always had some form of port or dock. In the 13th and 14th centuries, the River Parrett, which flows out to the Bristol Channel via Bridgwater, was heavily used for transporting hamstone, an orangey red stone quarried from the nearby Ham Hill. As the town grew and prospered, a bridge across the River Parrett was constructed, which conveniently prevented larger vessels from being able to sell their wares further inland at Langport. In the late 17th century, Bridgwater played its part in the Monmouth rebellion, crowning the usurper, James Scott, as king in the centre of the town. Ultimately, this rebellion was a failure, and James Scott was eventually beheaded in the Tower of London, whilst many local rebels were sent to death by Judge Jeffreys as part of the bloody assizes. Two centuries later, the floating harbour of Bridgwater Docks was completed and connected to the Bridgwater and Taunton Canal in 1841, over 10 years after the canal itself was built. A floating harbour ensures the water level contained within is constant at all times. This is especially important for Bridgwater Docks, as the tide from the Bristol Channel down through the River Parrett can rise and fall up to 30 feet at certain times of the year. Devonshire engineer Thomas Maddock oversaw the building of the docks, which involved digging up and removing over 100,000 cubic feet of clay. The clay was then dried and reused to make bricks for the nearby buildings. On the day the docks were opened, thousands of people turned out to watch, so many in fact that it was declared a local bank holiday. Maddock's was not well known, and the methods he used to create the docks were considered to be somewhat unusual. This has led to the belief that he took advice from Isambard Kingdom Brunel, who was busy building the nearby railway line at the time. Sadly, Maddock's remained a relatively obscure engineer and died in poverty in 1885. In its heyday, around the late 19th century, Bridgwater Docks was primarily used for the transportation of coal, timber, limestone and agricultural goods. At its height, an average of just under 4,000 ships a year landed at the docks. The Bridgwater and Taunton Canal ceased operating in 1907. Bridgwater Docks remained in operation for a further 60 years before finally being bought by Somerset County Council. In the 1980s, the long-abandoned dock was redeveloped into a marina, a place for leisure rather than industry.
If you've enjoyed this video and would like to see more, please do hit the subscribe button. And why not tap on the bell to receive notifications for when the next video is uploaded? It really means a lot to us.